Episode 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 begins, as the group attempts to leave. Master Tengen finally reveals themselves, greeting the children of the Zenin clan, a descendant of Michi-Zen, the death painting womb, and Sukuna's vessel. The sudden appearance shocks everyone. While the others react in surprise, Yuki questions why Tengen didn't acknowledge her. Tengen explains that this isn't their first meeting. When Yuki asks why the tombs were sealed off, Tengen admits they feared Yuki might be aligned with Kenjaku, the ancient body-hopping sorcerer once known as Noritoshi Kamo and now inhabiting Geto's body. Yuji interrupts to ask why Tengen looks so strange. Tengen explains that their curse technique grants immortality, not eternal youth. 11 years ago, when no new star plasma vessel appeared, Tengen began aging rapidly and lost their individuality. Forced to evolve, they became something closer to the world itself rather than a single being. Megumi and Yuta shift the conversation to what truly matters, Kenjaku's goal and how to unseal Gojo. Tengen agrees to explain, but only if at least 2 special-grade sorcerers remain behind to guard the tomb. Before that decision is made, Tengen reveals Kenjaku's plan, forcing the evolution of all people in Japan. Kenjaku cannot achieve this using idle transfiguration due to the sheer amount of cursed energy required. Instead, he plans to merge humanity with Tengen. Since Tengen has already evolved, they can now merge with ordinary humans, transforming them into beings beyond sorcerers, entities that exist both inside and outside the physical world. While Tengen can maintain control thanks to barrier techniques, humanity could not. Individuality would collapse, and the world would be consumed by chaos. Tengen also reveals they cannot refuse the merger. Having evolved beyond humanity, they are now closer to a cursed spirit, making them vulnerable to cursed spirit manipulation. Because of this threat, the corridor actively rejects intruders, anticipating Kenjaku's eventual attack. The discussion turns to fate. Tengen explains that they, the star plasma vessel, and the Six Eyes are bound together by destiny. Kenjaku was defeated twice by Six Eyes users in the past. Afterward, he attempted to break fate by killing newborn vessels, but they still reappeared. This led him to abandon eradication and instead seal the Six Eyes entirely. Everything changed 11 years ago when Toji intervened. As a man free from cursed energy, Toji was not bound by fate and shattered the destinies of Tengen, the Six Eyes, and the star plasma vessel. Soon after, Kenjaku obtained Prison Realm, allowing all his plans to fall into place. The Culling game, Tengen explains, is a ritual meant to prepare Japan for the merger. It uses barriers and cursed energy to push humanity to the other side. Kenjaku placed binding vows on himself, including one that prevents him from being the game's master, meaning killing him won't end the ritual. Before revealing how to unseal Gojo, Tengen demands the group choose their guards. Yuki and Choso volunteer. Choso wants to protect his brother's remains, and Yuki still has questions for Tengen. Yuta agrees to leave with the others, trusting them to handle things. Tengen then reveals the back of Prison Realm, a hidden cursed object necessary to free Gojo. To open it, one needs a technique-nullifying weapon like the inverted Spear of Heaven or Black Rope, but both are lost. However, there is one remaining option, an ancient sorcerer known as Angel, whose curse technique can extinguish other techniques. Her reincarnated name is Hanakurusu, now a Culling game player. Angel is located in the eastern Tokyo colony. Tengen explains that 10 colonies stretch across Japan in a line, forming the ritual structure that will merge humanity with them. Hokkaido alone is excluded, designated as sacred ground. Tengen warns that the merger will likely complete in about 2 months. The group discusses the Culling game rules. The first rule requires players to declare their participation within 19 days, and Tsumiki has until 10 days and 15 hours left to do so. If a player fails to declare, they risk losing their curse techniques, which may involve severe consequences, possibly even death. Tengen confirms that this applies to cursed users only, meaning Maki and others without cursed techniques are not at risk. The second rule states that anyone entering a colony after the game's start will be treated as an official participant. However, civilians can leave the barrier once. Players are encouraged to leave the barriers, spurring participation. Players must believe they entered the games by choice, which boosts the barrier's power. The third rule allows players to score points by killing each other, while the fourth notes that the game master sets each player's point value, with sorcerers typically worth 5 points and non-sorcerers 1. Megumi inquires about the game master, and Tengen explains players are assigned a Kagane, which acts as the game's interface. The sixth rule enables players to spend 100 points to create new rules, while the seventh ensures that any new rule must be accepted by the game master if it doesn't disrupt the game's balance. The group debates the fairness of the rules, but Tengen reassures them that Kenjaku ensures neutrality. The 8th rule states that players will face cursed technique removal if their score remains unchanged for 19 days. Yuji fears having to kill again, but Megumi has some ideas. With the rules clarified, the group assigns roles. Yuki and Choso remain with Tengen. Maki returns to the Zenin clan to reclaim stolen cursed tools. Yuta enters the Culling game immediately to gather intel. Yuji and Megumi are tasked with recruiting Kinji Hikari, a powerful but suspended third-year student. Before leaving, Yuji thanks Choso, who quietly tells his younger brother not to die. Yuki notices Choso struggling to hide his tears. The episode ends far from the battlefield, inside a failing comedy club. Fumihiko Takaba, a struggling comedian whose jokes never land, is told to quit. Despite this, he believes, deep down, that he might actually be funny. As that belief takes hold, it's revealed that Takaba is also a player in the Culling game. And that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.